Okay.
What the fuck what did the Punisher say, Mark?
I don't know. I was hearing JC tell a story. Tell us, JC. What did the Punisher say?
What was it, JC? What did the fucking Punisher say, man?
He looked down the barrel of the camera and said, "Don't, whatever you do."
He was, God, I lost everything. Sorry, everybody. The power went out in my neighborhood. It's so funny coming back into this. He looked down the barrel of the lens and said, if you have a job that is getting in the way of your passion, quit it, because passion will find a way. I quit that job 2 weeks later. I wrote a short film called Hughes the Force, and then 6 months after I wrote that short film, I started working with Kevin doing Jay and Silent Bob Get Old and Hollywood Babylon. So I'm an example of passion finds a way, because that was
you're someone who got saved by the Punisher.
I did get saved by the Punisher.
I was about to say, if you have abs like that, then sure, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Now there's a guy who takes his shirt off at the fucking beach.
There's a dude who takes his shirt off at Comic-Con. Like, I was literally at a bar and Thomas Jane rolled up and just like fucking Magnum PI opened up his shirt and just starts like stroking his abs. Because if I had abs like that, I would also just play with them like a xylophone.
The man was the star of a TV show called Hung. All you need to know. What else we got in the news? We're glad everybody's back with us in chat. Thanks for being patient and hanging in there and stuff.
Yeah, and like we didn't even like play a trailer with a song in it or nothing.
I know. We weren't canceled because fucking YouTube. We were
natural causes. Apparently.
JC is working on battery power at his house.
He's using everything to heat those bottles. And so one more streams.
What else we got?
The last news item for the day is that
we were so close to the end of the show.
So close to the end.
What is the last news item of the day?
The last news item of the day is last week we talked about how Black Lightning was spinning off Painkiller into hopefully his own show. There's going to be an episode.
Sure sign that Black Lightning is here to stay.
Indeed.
Anywhere.
It seemed to be
of the CW slate and fucking
a robust indicator of health and longevity.
I mean, they didn't cancel Happy Days when Laverne and Shirley got spun off.
Nope. But they're canceling Black Lightning.
What?
The CW confirmed that the superhero drama will end with the upcoming 4th season, which is set to premiere early next year.
Did you ever go deep on it?
I never went that deep on it, man. I never went that deep on it. And I think, part of my, I guess, resistance to it, like, and I watched most of the first season and I liked it, but it seemed clear that they were never really going to play in the DC universe or the Berlantiverse at large, except for the one crossover episode they had done. And it was great to see Black Lightning interfacing with the Flash and those other characters. But because it was so siloed off, it just, I don't know, like I didn't quite, it didn't connect with me the way I hoped it would. I appreciate what they were going for. I appreciate what they managed to pull off. I mean, it was the first DC superhero series with a black lead, but it's the second one to announce the ending of its run this season, along with Supergirl.
Someone else on in the chat, that's their name, someone else. And I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons of Black Lightning. The 3rd season, nope.
Damn, someone else.
Yeah. So then there's somebody who actually watched, though.
Yeah.
The show's going to live on through, what is it called? Painkiller?
Painkiller, yes. So a lot of the DNA of Black Lightning will exist. It wouldn't surprise me at all if some of those characters also managed to slip over. But yeah, it's a slightly sad day. Or yes, it will be a sad day later this year when you get to the actual series finale of Black Lightning. But for now, at least we know it's coming.
Yeah, it's it got a chance. How many seasons was that?
The 4th season is coming up, so it's that's a really good run for a superhero show in this here economy. 4 seasons is nothing to shake a stick at. It's no 15 seasons that Supernatural went or whatever.
And Supernatural just ended last week, right?
It just ended last week. I DVR'd the finale.
A lot of consternation. Hold on. Sean Wilson asked, are you buying into the theory that Jeff Bridges' character in Iron Man was controlled by Thanos using Loki's staff? Not at all. Is that a theory rolling around online?
That sounds like some QAnon shit right there, and I don't understand it at all.
It sounds like somebody really trying to like tie it all back to Thanos. Ain't nothing wrong with Ironmonger just being a dick. You don't have to be controlled by outer space. You know, fucking he tried to kill Tony Stark like before he was even Iron Man. He tried to have him killed in the desert and stuff. So yeah, no, I don't think that's like a mind stone. Obadiah Stane was just
he's just greedy.
Yeah, he's greedy cock, man.
Yeah.
Like one classic villain. Don't have to be like some overlord from space could puppet master, and I'm just a greedy American prick who wanted more and shit.
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a bunch of rocks.
He's so good in that movie. Yeah, man. I didn't see that theory. Anyway, back to what we were just talking about.
Supernatural. I DVR'd the finale, even though I've never seen a single episode of Supernatural. So I look forward to watching it and being utterly confused.
I saw a bunch of folks on Twitter who are hardcore fans of the show were like, not, they ranked the fucking finale next to Game of Thrones and stuff. A lot of complaining. I saw more complaining about the end of the show than I saw like, yay. And I guess one of the stars in advance had kind of been like, when I first read the finale script, I didn't like it. Reached out to Kripke, who created the show, Eric Kripke, the guy who does
the boys
now. And, they talked through it and he goes, and then I started to like it. So that night when Supernatural finale aired, a bunch of people were like, they kept retweeting that clip because I guess he was at some kind of Supernatural con talking about the final episode. And they were like, we know you were trying to soften this up for like this. This is an outrage, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Anybody watch the finale in chat? I'm looking at you right now. I never got the impression we had a bunch of Supernatural fans. Kripke defended it. Langley Neely said that Kripke defended the season finale. He had nothing to do with it, Langley, but he did defend it. We got Legault Land 13 says, I watched it. I hated it. Matt Dotsko says, I watched Supernatural. Hunt on, my wayward sons. I think it was Carry On. Jensen Ackles, that's his name. Jensen Ackles. Les Ross says Jensen Ackles didn't like it. Bill H says my girlfriend cried. Kurt Adams says the finale was just mediocre, not terrible. Adam Gavasky says Supernatural should have ended season 5.
Wow. Damn.
Did you ever watch much of it?
I never saw any of it. I tried tuning in like season 8 or 9, when it started to pick up some steam. I was like, well, let me see what this Supernatural thing's all about. I watched half an episode and just was lost by it. And like the tone was a little weird in ways that I couldn't put a finger on. Like, I don't know, maybe it was an acting style, maybe it was a directorial style. Whatever it was, just didn't quite engage me. And so, yeah, I never watched it.
Sean Cisco said, big fan. It was a good ending, Kev. And then Wolfie23 says, I did, and I liked it. And then Vanessa Martinez says, the finale was trash, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's almost, how we're always like, man, I want a fucking show. How come we don't get a show? I'm almost glad we don't get a show, because even if you get a show and then you try to end a show, people are like, fucking suck. You guys suck. This show sucks.
Yeah, because last season blows.
Stratus Strong says, I watched and cried like a baby.
Good for you, Stratus Strong.
Yeah, man. Fucking A. Ice Donkey says, daughter was a big fan and was super disappointed. Bobby Jackson says, it was more of an epilogue. This ep be the ep before was more of a finale. I'd heard that, but the episode before the season finale, like Jensen Ackles says, that's more of our finale, I think. Epilogue. They did, I think, a flash forward where people got old and you got to see how people died and stuff.
Yeah, little 6 feet under ending.
A little bit. God, that was a fantastic ending. That ending still makes me cry.
Yeah.
All right, but what were we talking about before we dove into Supernatural?
The end of Black Lightning.
Yeah, the end of Black Lightning. So they're losing Black Lightning this season. After this season, it's over.
Yeah, the upcoming 4th season is the last.
And then Supergirl leaves this year as well.
Indeed.
But we know we have Lois and Clark or whatever the Super.
Yeah, Superman and Lois. We know we'll have Batwoman. Legends of Tomorrow is still kicking.
And Flash is still happening.
Flash is still happening.
I wonder when they're going to announce that. How many seasons are they on?
I think it's 6, maybe.
What did Arrow do? 7?
I think Arrow went 7, like a truncated 7th season, or maybe a truncated 8th season. I can't remember exactly.
I bet Flash will get roughly the same run,
or just one more. With one more, we are the longest runner.
For heaven's sakes.
But that's
I guess and then they just announced there's going to be a Wonder Girl show, or at least a pilot on CW.
Right. Yeah, I mean they have some stuff in the offing. They have some ways to help build out that universe. But yeah, they're losing some big guns. Some folks are,
crapping on them, but you got to remember, it's kind of like, I'm looking in the chat. It's kind of like right now Marvel Cinematic Universe is going through some growth and changes, and you're about to not see some people that you're always used to seeing, and you're about to see a whole bunch of new kids that you've never seen before, who will hopefully take us all through the next phase and stuff like that. So stands to reason that on CW, a lot of these shows have been going as long as they have. Looks like they're trying to shake it up, but it doesn't sound like they're moving away from superheroes. They know they've got their bread buttered there with that.
Yeah,
they dropped that Berlanti verse, or Arrowverse or whatever. Why let that go? You got a never-ending treasure trove of DC characters to choose from, with only very few that you're not allowed to play with on a regular basis. So it feels like they could fill those same slots, brand new CW shows all the time. And it doesn't seem like it's like, remember when Riverdale happened, it looked like, oh shit, now it's all going to be this. But Riverdale's still happening. But the other one, remember, did Katie Keene a spinoff? That just went away. Sabrina got finished over at Netflix and stuff. So it feels like if CW is going to lean in any direction, it's probably going to be more superheroes.
Yeah, and they also still have Stargirl. We forgot about Stargirl.
Yeah, which is huge. Jason Mewes, literally every time I see him, he's like, "You watching Stargirl?" I was like, You ask me that every fucking time, and every time I've told you yes.
Leave me alone.
Favorite fucking show. He's become a big fan of the JSA and stuff because
nice. But yeah, you're right. I don't think superheroes are going anywhere. I just think that it's like any good franchise, it's in a bit of a rebuilding phase, where it's got to get in some new players. It's got to do some time to build up its team again, and then make another run for the championship. And that's fine. That's the order of things.
Wolf and Kitten Mysticism says, did you not even mention Batwoman in this group? Oh, do not even mention Batwoman in this group. Why?
Yeah, I did though.
But yeah, but we should. That's part of the show, part of the Berlantiverse.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, that's the news. New.
Somebody said, who is it here? Uber Co says, DCTV seemed like it peaked on the last crossover. Well, let's be honest. That last crossover Crisis was so fucking big. Like,
yeah,
especially for like TV. But I don't know that it peaked. I think you could go again. You could do other cool things. But it feels like, to some degree, they did it. Everyone saw how fucking excited fandom got with Crisis. And then big DC, like the movies were like, all right, we'll do that. And that's what fucking Flash is. It's like, look, Michael Keaton's going to be in this motherfucker, which is something they wanted to do in that Crisis first.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Crisis was to the DC Berlantiverse what Endgame was to the MCU, and that there's going to be more. They're going to find new ways to cross these characters over, but it's going to be a stretch before it becomes this giant all hands on deck, um, just locker room clearing event that way, because it's also super hard to do, and it's logistically it's a nightmare. And I think that at some point, you want to be able to tell some more intimate stories about these characters crossing over that don't have to involve everybody in the end of the world. And just, hey, what if it was just, a Superman Flash story? Let's do that. Wouldn't that be great?
Pathetic Pixels asks, weren't you doing Buckaroo Banzai? Still am.
Still
more when I can say something about that. Let's see.
Do you want to just go to Q&A, or we just
we are Q&A now?
Apparently.
Ricky Maru OG says, can we get Kevin Smith to play Condiment Man in CW? Fuck yeah, what a good idea. Make me the Condiment King, not Condiment Man. Condiment King, man.
Yeah, I'll strip him of his crown.
I've directed enough, and let's be honest, most people are like, meh, but like I'm now interested in being in shit, man, especially like these day pop-up parts where you don't have to be there the whole fucking time.
I like that you've gone the inverse of Orson Welles, who like Orson Welles decided to give up on directing and gain 500 pounds. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to shed all this weight and just start acting.
He started selling wine though. I started selling weed like last year. So
my name is Orson Welles, and this is Parmesan wines, the finest wine that anyone can drink.
Yeah, the right idea. Motherfucker made like one of the greatest movies ever made, and he made lots more after that. Well, it's not like he made Citizen Kane and stopped, but like you could have, because the movie was so fucking great and stuff like that. All right, yeah, JC, join us, JC. I'm sure you got some questions. I'm reading the chat as well.
All right, I've got a few questions. I wanted to give a shout out to all of the people watching the show that hooked Jocelyn, me, and Jen up with gifts. So Carrie Sauer, George McGowan, Susan Horn, Joanne Smith, Fiona Lewis, John, Stephen Josh, John Matthews, Marcelo Yoshida, Kyle Matthews, Michelle Matland, Jack E. Legg II, Josephine Nguyen, Sophia L., Dustin Lowry, Cassie Banks, Jeff, Kenneth Murray, Chris Robinson, Sean McCarthy, Nathan Gonzalez, Dark Nate, and Jason Paul Merzlak, Melinda Barr, James Walker II, and Bryce Benton all sent little presents for my baby. So thank you guys.
So sweet. And I got a present for your baby. Baby can't play with it, but this will look great in the nursery.
Yeah, you got to baby-proof those ears, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Those are not baby. I will, next time I see you, I got a cash gift for that kid.
Ooh, college fund or filmmaking fund.
Hey. You tell the kid one day that I gave her the money, but you spend it now. When that kid of age to know what money is, we probably will have done away with money.
It'll be like Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. They got no money in Star Trek, right?
Yeah, no money. Nobody has jobs.
Is that always part of the show? Like even in the first series, like do they ever call attention to it? Like, hey man, you got $5, and he's like, no man, it's Star Trek.
They didn't until Next Generation. I don't think that the first series, the classic series, ever really bothered with it. But on TOS, and it was always when like some time travel dude would show up back from the past into the present, and would be like, "Hey man, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a bunch of money." It's like, but there's no money here. Like we don't even have pockets on our pants. Like we pursue the things that encourage us, and society manages to derive some semblance of advancement because of it. But there's no more poverty. There's no more greed. There's no more hunger. We've eradicated everything. Yeah. So for your kid, fuck it. We'll do that, JC. Yeah. Not for anybody else's kids, but for your kids.
You pick the questions.
Okay. Alex Semi says, if you could stop COVID from ever existing, but it would mean you could never consume any media from Marvel, Star Wars, or DC, which one would you choose and why? So you could stop COVID, but you had to give up Star Wars, Marvel, or DC. Which one?
Do I have to give up what already exists, or is it further stuff?
I think you would never have gotten the MCU, or you would have never gotten Star Wars comics. The whole thing would just be lifted out of existence.
Well, let's be honest. Like, we'd get rid of all of them if it would get rid of fucking COVID. But we're only being asked to get rid of one. This is one of those internet, like, you can keep 3 or whatever.
One of these must go.
Yes. It's one of those situations.
Like a twisted version of like fuck, marry, kill, right?
Oof. Marvel delights me on such a regular basis that, like, in a world where I did not have to give it up for a COVID cure, I would definitely not voluntarily do that. That leaves Star Wars and DC. And right now, you know, if you'd asked me pre-Mandalorian, I'd be like, well, I guess we've had enough Star Wars. But now they're fucking nailing Star Wars, perfecting Star Wars. So I don't want to see that go. Yeah, man, I guess by process of elimination. And again, this is a fantasy, so I don't want to read some article on comicbook.com that says Kevin Smith hates DC, but that would be the one that I'd give up for COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Batman would understand that. Batman would want it that way.
He would. You know, sometimes you got to do the hard thing. Yeah, I think if the question is, if the problem being posed is you never got to have one of these, not even like I just don't get any more, but you're mortgaging its very existence in exchange for no COVID. I don't think I wouldn't be the person I am if there hadn't been a Star Wars. Like, Star Wars is my introduction to fantasy and science fiction and genre. So I couldn't give that one up. I think, you know, MCU and by extension Marvel Comics were my first superheroes that I really got into. So I think I'm kind of with you that, like, you know, the DC cinematic universe, or whatever we're calling it, and television for that matter, doesn't have the same hold on me the way Marvel or Star Wars does. So yes, I'm sure that somebody will interpret this as more confirmation that I actively dislike DC comics. And
believe me, I'm getting kicked in the teeth in chat for this. Like, somebody wrote that. Kevin says, like, Kevin to Time Warner, you shouldn't exist, or something like that.
Yeah, go kick rocks.
Yeah. They're not. What are they now? Warner
Media.
We've seen them go through. It was Warner Brothers when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
Then at one point it became Time Warner for a long time.
Yeah.
Then it became Time Warner AOL. Remember that?
No, AOL Time Warner, because AOL
Time Warner, they went first. Could you imagine there was a point where AOL went first? And now it's just Warner Media?
Yeah, just Warner Media. And we didn't even mention
the other day, like a financial article that suggested Warner Media and Universal, like, what do they call it when they combine? Merge.
Yeah.
Is it that would make them a fucking entertainment powerhouse titan the size of Disney if you put those together?
I mean, at some point there will only be one company, so it's just a matter of time.
Which makes me so mad, and not for the reason that it should. Everyone's like, it should make you mad because there'll be less places to make your entertainment and stuff like that. But it makes me mad because a long time ago, I wanted to make a Clerks cartoon movie where there was basically the name of the studio that existed was the combination of every studio's name, because they'd all become one gigantic fucking and stuff. And I would have been right, for heaven's sakes. Like, it would have seemed like a goofy joke had we done it, but I would have been right.
It would have been some Simpsons level prognostication.
It's true. Could you imagine be that good that you could predict the future while making people laugh?
Totally.
What else, Casey?
We had forgot to mention, however, that a Batman statue went up in Burbank. We didn't even talk about that.
We did. Look, number one, it's a Jim Lee looking bronze statue.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking my hats off to it. I can't wait to see it, take a picture with it and stuff. It was bought, we got to say right up front, but paid for by the city of Burbank.
Mm-hmm.
So DC, Warner Brothers, they did not pay for this at all. But it does go up shortly after a bunch of layoffs, which I know upset a lot of people online. A bunch of people are like, the optics of this are not good. But look, I mean, yes, I understand the optics of this are not good. That being said, look at that statue. That statue. Come on, man. They're finally making statues to shit we care about, dude. Like, never mind, like, fucking, who's that on the horse? Some fucker fought in a war. Now we're getting the statues we deserve. Our real heroes, the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. There's fucking Detroit still trying to do a RoboCop statue.
More of that. Like the Wolverine statue that should exist up in Canada.
No,
statues for all of our heroes, the heroes we can all identify.
I mean, Philly had the Rocky statue forever.
No, and not controversial. Nobody's ever going to be like, take that Batman statue down. You kidding me? Batman stands for justice, and everyone loves Batman. Yeah, I'm all for this. More statues everywhere of characters that we can get behind and stuff.
Yes, less Confederate generals and more superheroes.
That should be a no-brainer, but
yeah,
yes, absolutely. But I'm saying less, like, you know, of the non-Confederate, the Union winners,
just
American
heroes. Regular ass person.
Never mind those cats either. Just Batman. Look, where's the Robin statue? What's right next door to Burbank?
Glendale.
Put a Robin statue right there. There you go. They're Cape Crusader cities. Yeah, that statue looks fucking dope, man.
Yeah, there should be a Captain America statue in Brooklyn. I don't know why there isn't, but
yes, isn't there a Captain America statue somewhere?
Is there? Tell us, internet, if there is a Captain America statue in Brooklyn. Because if there isn't, Marvel is just leaving money on the table.
Somebody just said there is a Captain America statue in Brooklyn. Somebody said Stan Lee statue in New York. Yes, Cisco Lopez. Where's the fucking Stan Lee statue in New York, man?
Yeah, outside of like the original Marvel HQ, there should be a Stan Lee statue.
Standing on a brass soapbox.
That would be great.
All right, JC, give us another one.
I like this one. God damn it, Russ was asking, what fictional character and band would you have host and guest on Saturday Night Live?
What fictional character and band?
Does the band have to be fictional also?
Fictional band, fictional host. So
wow.
I just want to say, question of the night.
Outstanding.
Fantastic. What a great imagination. Host, Tony Stark.
Fair.
Come on, he'd be so charming. And band, the Hong Kong Cavaliers.
Ooh, nice one.
Thank you.
Nice one. All right. My host, fictional character is the host of Saturday Night Live. I want to say the Joker.
Don't do that. We saw what happens when he's on a show.
Yeah, but everybody dies when it's the Joker.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone said, but could Tony Stark act? I mean, not everyone who hosts
as much as any athlete who shows up to do it. Miss Piggy
as the host.
And Josie and the Pussycats are the fictional band.
Look at you, fucking very female heavy slate. Josie and the Pussycats, excellent fucking choice. I'd throw in for if we couldn't get the Hong Kong Cavaliers because Buckaroo Banzai was off on a mission, then I would suggest who is my backup band? Ellen Aim and the Rockers.
Oh, the Attackers.
The Attackers, yes.
Oh, that was also I was debating Ellen Aim and the Attackers, but good job.
That is what it means to be young, Mark. What a great question. Some of that, but yeah, those are good fucking choices.
Outstanding. I like that question. Well done.
All right, JC.
All right, last one from Evan Bernstein. Says, my partner and I bonded a ton over the MCU during quarantine. What show or movies did you guys bond over with your partner and family during quarantine?
Great question. I think like the rest of the world, I bonded with my wife over Tiger King. I watched it and then Like I watched it by myself because she had no interest. She's like, she doesn't like see animals mistreated. And I was like, well, other than the general mistreatment of like, nobody seems to give a fuck about these animals as much as they give a fuck about their own fame. You're not going to see too much. Like you got to watch it because it's just so fucking mind bending. And so I watched it. And then literally the next day I rewatched it with her and I binged it and stuff. So we bonded kind of over that. Recently with The Crown, we've been watching the shit out of that. What was the Spanish bank heist thing?
Oh, right. Like not Money Heist, but was it Money Heist?
It was like the poorly titled Money Heist, but the Spanish title was The House of Paper, Papel,
Right.
La Casa de Papel. That was fucking a fantastic watch. 4 seasons worth of something to dive into. Jamie Caddiers keeps urging us to watch,
Queen's Gambit.
No, which I watched, which was great. Didn't you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
And you were suggesting it like a week ago? I watched that. Like after you mentioned it, I was here and I was like, Mark said Queen's Gambit is good. And I started rolling it and shit. And I thought she would dig it up with me, but she was doing other shit and never fell into it. So fucking good.
Yeah, like an easy spell to get cast.
Who knew that like that was going to be up my alley? If you told me you're going to love this thing with about like this girl chess player who takes pills like crazy, I'd be like, I don't know. That sounds more like my wife's thing. But I fucking loved it. The guy who worked on it, what was his name? Scott Frank?
Scott Frank, yeah.
He did like fucking Out of Sight and Get
Ocean's 11. I think he wrote the.
Yeah, dude's he's got legit like chops. He's a Soderbergh guy.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this thing was wonderful. But it's based on a book.
Yeah, based on a fictional book that I think he wrote and directed every episode of. So
yeah, I saw that, man.
Good for you, Scott Frank.
Really good, really enjoyable. It reminded me of like first in the beginning, I was like, oh, this reminds me of the movie we were talking about.
Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Just by virtue of the fact that, chess. And chess, while being the spine of the fucking thing, you don't have to understand jack shit about chess to enjoy that fucking series.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. I did Walking Dead early on, fucking 10 seasons of The Walking Dead or whatever, however many there are. Now the missus and I are we're trying to portion out the rest of Schitt's Creek.
Zari Severino Jr. says Scott Frank also wrote Mangold's Logan. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he did.
That's a great script.
Yeah, I think he was maybe first on, and then Michael Green
came afterwards. That's right. He worked on it as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so Schitt's Creek, we're like watching an episode a night as opposed to 5 episodes a night, which you could do easily because it goes down so easy. And then with my son, we've been watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is a surprisingly endurable show. I expected it to feel crazy dated. And occasionally when, some of the references, it's like, oh, hey, Belle Biv DeVoe are in this episode and the audience is going nuts. And my son's like, who is that? And I'm like, it's Belle Biv DeVoe, kid.
Yeah, it's like I'd still go nuts if they showed up in an episode.
Yeah, that girl is poison. Don't
Did
trust
you
the big
to say that's Belle Biv DeVoe. Now you know.
He's like, I can't blow anywhere. I live here. I'm like, oh, fine.
And from the other room, your lady was like, she's driving me
out of my mind. So yeah, those have been the big sort of quarantine binges. I've slowly by myself been going through New Girl, just because I remain enchanted by Jake Johnson, the one true Peter B. Parker. And so, yeah, but that's been it. And it's been grand. And yet there are still fucking things that I feel like I should watch and haven't watched, because there's just so much.
Heckler is asking for a shout out early on.
Hi.
What's coming this week. Today is Monday. So that means we only have to wait 24, 48, 96 hours before we get to see the live action debut of Ahsoka Tano.
I know, Friday, day after Thanksgiving. We will all be thankful.
Thursday night, man. Don't go to sleep. 12:01.
Cue it up.
I'm gonna be on Twitter spoiling it for everybody, taking screenshots, posting that shit. It's gonna make people so fucking mad.
I win.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be pretty damn cool. We're probably gonna see a lightsaber fight in this episode. Dark saber on lightsaber.
I hope so. If there's one thing Mandalorian has been lacking, it's lightsaber fights.
Truly.
All right, we got one more question in the hopper.
No, I think we hit 3.
Was that 3?
For a bonus round if you want, man. If you bowl the strike, you get one more spare if you like.
I just now I thought that I want Apollo Creed to host SNL.
Apollo Creed?
Yeah.
That's your rebuy?
That's my rebuy. My rebuy is I want Apollo Creed.
Does he does he open with Living in America?
I mean,
is the musical guest James Brown?
Who is fictional enough.
Because in the movie, he fucking counts. Carl Weathers did that last episode of Mandalorian.
Yeah, and like that dude has been like a stealth TV directing mainstay for like a decade, if not more.
Did we talk? So when was the last time we did the show?
A week ago. I think we could go to
before the last episode of Mandalorian dropped.
Yes.
Before his episode. That episode I felt was the most Star Warsy of the episodes I've seen so far. It might have had something to do with like all the Star Wars ephemera, a lot of stormtroopers, a lot of Imperial hallways, a lot of speeder bikes and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I thought he did a great job. I mean, why wouldn't he? This guy's been on sets forever and shit.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It was definitely, I mean, it was that one and the Bryce Dallas Howard one that had come the week before. We're both like directed with sure hands, and you're 100% on board with what's happening, and it's all clear.
And high adventure and not so mythology based, and just like this is what's happening right now. It doesn't, the mythology always kind of gets put to the side so they can confront whatever the episode adventure happens to be and stuff. Then they pick it back up and keep kind of moving forward.
Right.
But I haven't been impatient or like, oh, fuck this planet. Would you get to Ahsoka or something like that? Like every week I'm happy to see where they go. But I've never seen a poorly directed episode. They're all directed really well. In this episode, you see in the background, they had an IG-11 statue.
I did.
And remember last week, I was like, there was a picture of the fucking Yoda figure that spoils the kid's name, the child's name. It was not spoiling the kid's name. It said the child, and in parentheses, it said Navarro. That's the name of the planet. So
gotcha.
That version of the child is from Navarro, not from like, I guess they'll do alternate versions of the child figure and stuff.
Right.
So the kid's name ain't Navarro. That planet's name is Navarro. It was nice.
At least not yet.
At least that town. It was nice to see him return. Big reveal with what is the Gina lady's name? The one that everyone's mad at.
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune. She fucking. They didn't say that before that she was from Alderaan, did they?
No, I mean I think they had mentioned that she clearly was a soldier for the rebellion.
Yeah.
Drop trooper who had been sort of disenchanted with the entire scenario post Alderaan, post Yavin, post all of that shit. But yeah, no, a lot of information about her. We got to see fucking Moff Gideon again. More about the Darksaber, more about their plans for what they were doing with the child's blood, trying to create apparently a fucking unit full of genetically enhanced soldiers that they just needed more blood.
Dark troopers or something like that. And then also it just opened with like, if you put the red wire where the blue wire, which is absolutely adorable. I'm seeing baby Yoda in school, stealing cookies.
Like stealing macaroons.
They could do no wrong with that fucking character, man. Like, so damn good. Yeah, it was a joy to watch. And I was like, oh man, there was no ending of like, oh, there she is or something like that. But why would they? Because the guy who created the character is going to be responsible for her live action debut from first to last. It's not like, oh, she technically debuted here and then Dave directed this episode. bam, it's all in her episode. That's kind of sweet when life circles back like that. That guy never in a million years thought that one day he'd be directing an episode of a Star Wars show that a character he created for a cartoon was in. It's got to be satisfying. I mean, it happened to him a while ago. We're seeing it this week, but it's got to be amazing feeling for him.
Yeah. I can't imagine it, but also good for him, man. Good for him.
Very good for him. Yeah, believe me, it's especially look good for anybody that fucking knocks it out the park. Like, you know, it's tough in this business because sometimes you look at others succeeding and you're like, man, why not me? Because we're all children in this business. That's a childish fucking thought. But I never feel that way about shit that I love. Like, I never feel like about any of the Marvel directors or fucking Kevin Feige. I'm never like, man, why not me? I'm like, no, keep doing it. Like, well, that's good. That's good. Same with fucking everything going on with The Mandalorian, man. I'm like, go.
You got this.
Yeah, this is amazing. Fucking, you need no help. Fucking, this is fantastic. Yeah, except I would like to be on it. Fuck amazing. As long as I don't have to take my shirt off to circle way back to the fucking beginning.
Bring it all back. Call back.
There it is, folks. We did a fucking show. Me, Mark, JC, fucking Baby Yoda.
Yeah, Baby Dave Navarro.
Baby Navarro. Did you like that show? If you did, you got to thank JC for making time from his busy baby rearing schedule, which sounds really fucking nasty. Raising baby. He's got his own Baby Yoda, man. He's fucking the Mandalorian right now.
One man and a baby and a girl.
He's got a partner as well.
Yes.
So thanks to JC for making this happen. But there is no show without that guy who's down in that box right there. Give it up for Mr. Marc Bernardin, everybody.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Is Fat Man.
Batman on Batman.
That is going to be Fat Man Beyond for this week until next week, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com or
youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
This is the way.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that too.